All right, hello everyone, and welcome into Weather Extra on this Monday. I'm Jeff Morrow here in the First Alert Desk, giving you that forecast update for the work week ahead and beyond. Let's talk about what's going to be ahead. Well, we get a break from the oppressive summer humidity here for the next couple of days, so enjoy it while it lasts. We're not talking about necessarily cool air, but we're talking about heat with less humidity. So it's a dry heat that we're going to be dealing with over the next few days. But we do have another cold front that's set to arrive by the end of this week. That's going to be our next rainmaker that we'll be watching for, but also bringing temperatures down maybe a few degrees as we end the month of August. And the tropics, yeah, they're actually trending a little bit quieter. So that is certainly good news. We still have a named storm out there, but we're going to be keeping our eyes on maybe not much after that once Ferdinand begins to move out to sea. So here's the available moisture forecast map. When we talk about available moisture, we're talking about a couple of things. We're talking about humidity levels, but we're also talking about opportunities for rain. So anytime we see this green shade of color, that's our typical summertime moisture pattern that we generally are in. So we could still see a pop-up shower or two in the forecast. And that's what we're going to be dealing with for the next few days. But notice how we get this next kind of slug of moisture moving in. It's more of a blue shade of color, so not the purple shade of color when we talk about deep tropical moisture that's going to be in place. So this is going to be setting up for the arrival of the front to deliver our next chance of rain. And we start to notice how we get this straight line effect moving from north to south. That is our front right here as we look towards Friday morning, dips down towards the south through the day on Friday. Big question mark related to this front is, where will it stall? Will it stall across our area? Will it stall along the coast? Or will it stall out in the Gulf? That's the question mark we have to answer as we move into the weekend. That's going to dictate maybe how cool we get, how less humid we get, and if we can completely remove rain chances for the Labor Day weekend, or we have to keep rain kind of hanging around. But you'll notice here, according to this model forecast, and this is the European model, it brings that dry air all the way down into the Gulf. So that's something that, of course, we'll be keeping an eye on as we begin to move forward. So this right here, this is our humidity trend. I'm going to take it full for you. You can see how we're kind of in this comfortable, acceptable category for humidity. So again, this doesn't dictate anything with the air temperature. That's still going to be reaching well into the 90s for the next few days, but it's going to be more of a comfortable heat. It's not going to be that muggy air mass, and that starts to see that climb. Again, that surge of moisture out ahead of the front may be arriving by the end of the week, heading into the weekend, and so that is where we're going to be watching for those rain chances to maybe start to come back into our forecast. So we're going to be tracking this front. You can see the snapshot of the front here on Friday, according to the European model, for what we're tracking next, and it's this end of the week cold front. So let's give you some of the details tied to it. The front looks to arrive sometime on Friday, more than likely second half of the day. So Friday morning looks to be dry. Friday afternoon, Friday evening, we'll probably be dodging some showers and thunderstorms. The remaining question related to this front, as I mentioned earlier, does the front stall, or does it make it all the way past us into the coast? And that would deliver a picture perfect weekend as we move into the Labor Day holiday. But the temperature change, well, we might actually see some highs in the 80s and some lows maybe in the 90s correlated to this front. Now let's switch gears and talk about the tropics. This is Ferdinand right here just to the east of Bermuda. That's our latest tropical storm. Elsewhere though, we've got nothing really to focus in on. We've been watching this tropical wave that's made its way into the eastern Caribbean, but as of the latest update from the National Hurricane Center, they've got listed development chances at 0. So Ferdinand expected to move out into the northern Atlantic, dissipate into a post-tropical cyclone, and then after that it is quiet for the next 7 days. So it looks like once we get maybe say past next couple of days, we may not have any tropical activity that we're going to be tracking for here as we conclude August and head into the early part of September. That is critical because we're starting to move into peak tropical season, so hopefully we can continue to keep this going on as we make our way through the next several days, maybe next couple of weeks. So I've got a listed chance of rain, 10% Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That is going to be along the coast where we've still got some of that moisture stream still in place. But notice the high temperature, 95 today, 95 for tomorrow, and then we start to back those high temperatures down as we start to see maybe some additional cloud cover, some passing rain chances in the forecast, and eventually maybe that front starting to impact us as we head into the upcoming weekend. Right now I've got rain chances listed for the weekend ahead. Here's the good news is we may have to take them off the board. Again, depending on how that front makes its way, how far south it gets as we head into the weekend, that's going to dictate those rain chances, but it does look like maybe starting to see a little bit of a cool down heading into our forecast as we close out the month of August. Thanks for joining us here as we continue on this Weather Extra on your Monday. We'll keep you updated coming up on 9 News at noon and in future newscasts. Did.